Barnes will be looking to try and put some early pressure on the young man. So I noticed from the practice balls cast that Matt Chamberlain bowled, he went in with a plan for his 4 balls, but I'm afraid it didn't go to plan, and he looked a little bit worried going back to his seat.
Well, yes, he'll have to sort that out straight away, because Barnes has got off with a great strike to start with in the first frame.
I think it put them in their place. Matt Chamberlain then, big first delivery. Well, away we go. It's game on for the 19-year-old. That was desperately important for the... Yeah, that's a fact. Cass, I hadn't even thought about that. In terms of Guy Kaminsky starting his tournament with no points, we talked and talked about the fact Guy had to win this match, he had to win the 2 points. We haven't even mentioned that about Barnes, but Barnes in danger of going out of this tournament.
His last match of the round robin.
Yeah, Belmonte went on to have a ding-dong battle with Wu Su-hong of Hong Kong. They shared a point each, and that's unlucky. Chamberlain then can't follow up that first strike. Leaves the 10-pin.
10-pin stood in the corner. This is actually playing a bit of a straighter shot down the line. The spare's good enough for the time being.
Acquitted himself very well on this high-pressure show lane. Barnes, though, completely at home here. Member of the Weber Cup team and has played and won this tournament before, so you would expect him to be able to come away with at least a point from this match.
Last year, so he's there or thereabouts on this lane.
When you look at the 2 records of the players involved in this match, it's David and Goliath stuff. 19-year-old Chamberlain playing against one of the PBA stars.
There's also as many fans for Chris. This Barnsley crowd are well experienced and just know how good Chris is and has been.
Still pacing 300 then, 4 strikes in a row for Chris Barnes. Against the 19-year-old rookie Matt Chamberlain. It's Chamberlain who's applying all the pressure as we rejoin the action in the 4th frame.
Chamberlain shoots 2 strikes in a row to achieve that.
Oh, he's got under.
Chris, the lucky man. Not the greatest strike in the world, but it does make 5 strikes in a row that you spoke about. Now, we've talked about the 300 game, and, you know, potentially it's here. Chris will have to strike all the way up the way. In the meantime, young Matt throws 3 in a row to keep in touch. Still pacing 280.
Barnes then looking for 5, looking for 6 even. No, it's a ringing 10-pin for Chris Barnes. The warning signs were there after that last delivery. Not to be then.
Yeah, didn't quite have 10-pin.
Once again, Cass, you've jinxed a maximum.
There you go, one of those things. And how
And
sadly
the game's
in some of these games, we've seen an open frame or a split just pop out of nowhere. And that wasn't actually very far off it. That was very nearly a 4-6 split. The 4 pins stood up.
Took it away from Wu Si-hong, didn't let him in at all. And in the second game, he performed very well, battled away against Wu, but couldn't quite take the point in the end. But now in this game against Barnes, we're going to see what he's made of.
See the difference that a spare makes. He was pacing 280. He's had a spare, and right now he's down to a pacing 259.
Moving towards the business end then of this first game. Barnes can't do the job.
Yeah, he's coming up from wide outside of the right-hand side of the lane, and that ball is rolling up and setting into the pocket. It's not carrying that.
Sitting at 268. And that gives him an advantage over Chamberlain, but only of 9 pins. This is going to be a cracker. This is what this new format is producing. Exciting game after exciting game. No, Chamberlain's left the 10. It's been stubborn at the moment.
Again, it can only be a spare for a young man.
Down goes the cue ball, and down goes the 10-pin. And Chamberlain loses a bit more ground. 20 pins down now on Barnes. It's a big deficit now for this young man to make up, but
scores around the 240 mark. Would need to be bowled if you wanted to pick up some points. Go, Chris.
dear no, the machine came down.
Yeah, I don't think that pin was going to go anyway. Now that's 3 10-pins in a row. That
Ball
Barnes
left the 10-pin from these two right-handers. Somebody's going to have to find an adjustment that works. Although for Barnes, that's not such a desperately important measure. He still leads in terms of what he can potentially get in this opening game. 257 is available.
Before it gets up to the pocket.
Chamberlain. Yeah, he's done well there. And what did he do, Cass? Just try and take it inside the mark, find the oil, and then get the reaction.
Yeah, just sit it on oil.
Still that 9-pin advantage remains for Chris Barnes then, but this is a big ball here for him. And he too has to play it risky, but it's worked.
Yeah, took a high flyer on the head pin there. Managed to carry all 10. It's just a fraction high, but it's going straight through rather than hooking too much. Managed to carry all 10.
Maintains his advantage, Chris Barnes. It's up to Chamberlain now to put...
Yeah, it's off the sheet for 248. It's a strike in the foundation frame, so he's still on for that 248.
And Cass, because he's so close to Barnes, a slip up from Barnes could hand it to this man.
Well, Chris really has to shoot 2 strikes here.
Barnes then looking for his first point of this 2009 World 10-pin Masters. That'll help. It's another very, very tight shot, and by tight I mean he's right on the edge of that pocket.
Yeah, Chris knew that had to be a strike.
To work very hard for their pinfall in this opening game. Interesting how they've cancelled each other out. Big, big delivery here for Chris Barnes.
Must be 10. And it's not.
Oh dear. Chances.
Oops. Absolutely.
Drops to 246 if he makes this spare. And if Chamberlain can strike off the sheet, then he can win this by 2 pins. So all Barnes can do is tidy this up now. He's got the stomach for the fight.
Well, he's done the hard work. The pressure is very much now back on Matt Chamberlain, who needs to shoot 2 strikes and a 9 to win by a single pin.
Confirmation then of that 246 for Chris Barnes. And now he's going to get to wait and see if the young gun is up to it. Brilliant learning experience here for performance in match 1. Now, can he pull out a major, major victory? Yes, down it goes. Great start, not over yet.
Well, that's one of the 2 strikes that he needs to get. Chris really cannot afford to lose or drop another point.
Here we go then. There it is. Matt Chamberlain with a superb delivery.
You couldn't actually write this, could you? You couldn't script it.
But still has work to do.
9 pins is what the young man needs to win by a single pin.
In Group B, must be something about Group B. Here we go then. This to take a point from Chris Barnes. Oh, it's got to go, and it has! Oh, terrific stuff. And Matt Chamberlain has bowled his heart out in game 1. The 19-year-old that's been following the career of Chris Barnes since he started bowling has now played the great man and has beaten him in game 1. And this is what it means to the 19-year-old. Oh, yes. That is a confident performance from him. And Chris Barnes now is in all sorts of bother. 248, 246. It doesn't get closer than that. And Chamberlain takes the first point in this match against Chris Barnes.